Restoration, a 2-act play by Carla Freeman. Cast of characters: Bertha, Jewish American, 25-year-old blonde, and descendant of Holocaust survivors. Hans, 30-year-old waiter, Nazi descendant. Otto Frank, Anne's Frank's father as an older man, Anne Frank, 13 years old as she was in hiding. Conrad, an Auschwitz guide, Wilhelm, Holocaust protester in Amsterdam, and Sophie, a German young girl during the Holocaust. The setting: Act 1 is a split stage. On one side is a cafe across the canal from the Anne Frank Museum. On the other side is inside Anne Frank's bedroom. Act 2 is a circle of chairs in front of the stage. The time is 3 generations after the Holocaust. Act 1, Scene 1. There is music and singing with English titles of Schubert's Lindenbaum. Bertha enters the cafe, almost falls, and drops pages from the 2 books she carries. Hans runs over to her.
Oh, God, I'm so clumsy.
Both scramble to pick up her things.
Welcome. Want a table?
Just for a bit.
Hans seats her at a table.
Want a piece of pie?
A coffee in a large cup.
Bertha gestures a large cup.
Not like those small espresso cups. Horrible weather, horrible.
Hans brings her the coffee.
I see you are carrying Anne's diary. The house is closed.
What do you mean?
Bertha nervously shuffles papers and tries to put them inside her books. The 2 books are A Diary of a Young Girl and The Jew in the Lotus. Hans returns and places her coffee on the table.
I'll come back. Maybe I can help.
Hans leaves and Bertha opens Diary of a Young Girl.
Anne, help me. I must go inside and see how you lived and where you wrote this diary. I have to.
Don't worry, Bertha. Somehow you can come to me.
Are you okay?
Okay.
Can I sit for a bit? I'm on a break.
Bertha looks up at him and nods.
What's your name?
My name is Bertha. And you?
Hans. You're from the United States?
I came all the way just for this day. Now,
Terrible, terrible. I see many people in the cafe who don't know about the restoration project.
I only knew there would be a line. I got here early, and now what can I do?
Hans is standing over Bertha, smoothing his shirt anxiously.
I'm sorry about this. So many want to walk through the rooms and especially want to go into Anne's bedroom. Over the years, many things were worn down so much. Now they have the money, they are working on making things better.
Bertha picks up her Anne Frank book. One of the sepia photos on the wall comes alive, singing a Jewish song.
I know you are very disappointed, but you must wait to see what will happen.
Wait, it's bad. I came all the way here.
Bertha drops some pages and starts to cough and sneeze. Hans rushes over.
Are you okay, miss? Can I get you some water?
Yes, please. What can I do? When will it open?
Hans returns with the water.
I don't know how I can help.
No one can help.
I was only trying.
I always do the wrong thing.
You've been working for only a month and say it should take another month to finish, but maybe sooner. Can't you stay or come back?
Hans walks off, mumbling.
Das ist nicht mein Bier. Oh, as we say in Germany, it is not my beer. She is not my problem. Tomaten auf den Augen haben. She has tomatoes over her eyes. She is oblivious.
Hans shakes himself and stands very straight in front of Bertha.
I can't stay. I have a job. Besides, if it takes a month, that is impossible. I don't know what to do.
I see he seems concerned. Maybe something can happen.
I don't know him. Why is he talking to me?
Why do you want this so badly?
Bertha hugs some pages in her Anne Frank book, drops pages, spills some coffee on the table. Hans wipes the table. They both scramble to pick up the pages.
I just need to go inside. I can't explain. No one knows I'm here.
Bertha puts her head down, then sits up and sips her coffee and stares at Hans.
Why not stay? Are you Jewish?
Yes, but I'm not a real Jew. I'm a Jew-boo, a Jewish Buddhist. You can't understand.
She holds up her other book, The Jew in the Lotus. Hans gets up, looking harried.
He could be Jewish.
Wait for what will happen. You will be with me soon.
Bertha looks after Hans and mumbles.
Why am I telling him about my religion?
Music of the Holocaust plays as the sepia photos on the wall come alive in holograms. Bertha busies herself organizing her pages and picks Anne's diary and reads.
Dear Kitty, this is not so bad as a place to hide, but I can't go outside and we have to be quiet during the day so no one will know we're here. Only Mother, who is always criticizing me, and Father trying all the time to make things okay with Mrs. Van Den after she was picking on me all the time.
Hans talks to himself, walks in circles, repeating.
Das ist nicht mein Bier. Not my problem. Not my problem.
Hans sits facing Bertha.
Even though it is closed to the public, there might be a way.
How? How? Today? How?
Can I look at this?
Now, sorry. Can I look at this?
Hans picks up her book, reads the title aloud.
Jew in the Lotus. What's it about?
The author tells the story about a trip that a group of rabbis took to meet the Dalai Lama.
Bertha stares at the sepia photos on the wall. They are now dancing. A photo of an old woman comes to life as a Jewish song plays.
Are you Jewish?
No, I am not. I am Christian. I came here from Germany a few years ago.
You German?
They are silent for a while. Then another photo comes to life, and a plaintive song plays a Jewish melody. Anne whispers to Bertha.
My father hoped for some kind of understanding to help Germans and Jews heal. He hoped for something like this, for you and a German to meet and talk and maybe even understand each other. People visiting the place we hid was meant for that to happen.
Can I go inside to her house, her room where she wrote? But it's closed, right?
Bertha and Anne hold hands.
No one goes inside.
My ticket is for this weekend.
Are you sure you have to go home?
I have a job and a boyfriend. Everyone thinks I went to Europe for an adventure on my own. I don't know why I'm here. I just know I need to see Anne's room. You can't help.
I have to work now.
Bertha looks at the walls with old sepia photos. Some come to life and sing and dance.
Ich glaub, mein Schweine. Oh, no. English. Speak English. I think my pig is whistling. I can't believe it.
Maybe these photos are of Jews who died in the camps.
Bertha hugs her books and starts to sway, like she is dancing with the people in the photos. There's more music. She gets up. She is dancing with the old woman in the photo.
Yes, we lived normal lives until the Nazis came. I danced and even sang with my friends. I didn't sing very well. I liked to write. Some of my friends liked to sing, so I tried. My friend Ethel had a good voice. She sang with such passion. But when the Nazis came, I never saw her again. One day my neighbors helped us to hide in the attic across the street. They kept our secret, but one neighbor finally succumbed, and we were caught.
Hans sits facing Bertha with a masked expression.
Bertha, can we talk about your visit here? Why keep it a secret?
I can tell you, but you're German. You won't understand. How come you work here?
Yes, I was going to get to that. First, can you tell me more about what is a Jewish Buddhist?
Okay, but I feel my secret life is not easy to talk about. Can you tell me more about you?
They stare at each other for a few minutes.
My family likes observing all the rituals. They're very religious. That's how I grew up. It's always felt weird, like what is the reason men have to sit downstairs in the shul and women upstairs? Now I know there are different ways to observe my religion, but I don't fit in anywhere.
Bertha gets up and stretches, and her pages fly. Then she sits and picks up the book, The Jew in the Lotus, and she hugs it.
The Dalai Lama wanted those rabbis to talk about how the Jewish people survived the Holocaust. He wanted to know because his people had their own Holocaust in Tibet. Before, many fled to India, where he lives in a small village with others who escaped.
Hans flips through and stops on a page. He reads for a while and then reads aloud.
I felt Rabbi Zalman was representing a Judaism that once was, and that yet might be. For that reason, I didn't care that he interpreted the tradition as flowing into his own experience, his imagination, his dreams, his everyday life. He was agenting for change, for Jewish renewal. To me, renewal seemed exactly what was called for today in all traditions. What good was the rich storehouse of the esoteric in Judaism if it was only available in freeze-dried scholarly packages? What do you think that means, Bertha?
This book opened my eyes to the mystical traditions in Judaism. These rabbis explain these ideas in the Kabbalah. I don't know much about this part of Judaism exactly, but it makes me want to revisit my beliefs.
I think you are brave to come here to question your beliefs. I couldn't do what you're doing.
No, not me. Anne Frank was so brave. At 13 and 14, she told me more about being a good person in her writings, telling the truth and being brave. She didn't talk about religion. What did her words have to do with being Jewish? What you read from the book seems to mean to me that wisdom is available in every religion if people want to think deeper, to think for themselves and find their way inside and outside religion. Why can't I feel religious? Are you religious?
I don't know what to believe in anymore. I grew up thinking we were a normal Christian family. My brothers and sisters were normal, at least I thought so, before my eldest brother committed suicide, and one of my sisters ran away at 15 and was never heard from again. No one yelled or screamed, but I have to admit it was a stifling atmosphere. No one talked about their feelings. No one asked me what I liked or didn't like. I see now it was extremely repressive. Right and wrong, and good and bad. That was it. I think I must have been depressed.
What about Amsterdam drew you? Have you been inside the Anne Frank's house?
Hans gets up, takes her coffee, and runs off.
He is scared. He doesn't know what is happening. He likes you as a woman, but he cannot feel that. Not now. He has to gather his thoughts. Just wait. Read something from my book.
Bertha gets up and leaves to go to the bathroom.
They are quite a pair. Both need the other. Both are scared and scarred. Both will help each other.
Music of the Holocaust plays. All the sepia photos come to life, chattering and singing and dancing. Some are crying and some are laughing. Bertha comes back and her hair is combed and she has put lipstick on. Hans sits down and he too looks like he combed his hair. Hans leans in towards Bertha.
I am of Nazi descent. I have a hard time telling anyone, especially a Jewish person. I'm not only ashamed, but I am humiliated, like I should hide in the single room I rent. I can't tell my family why I work there. I just say I like Amsterdam. But I need to know more about Anne Frank's family. I'm so sad most of the time.
I never met anyone like you.
Bertha starts to get up, but sits back down and grabs her books.
I feel the same. Do you think we have to talk more? What do you think? My family would not like me to talk to a Jewish person. I shouldn't talk to you.
I don't know. It feels strange to talk to you at all.
Let me finish my work and we can see.
Yes, I can't breathe. I need to sit here for a while. When do you finish working?
In about an hour. Do you want something to eat?
Those pastries look amazing. Can you bring me one with chocolate?
Well, this is a good development.
Yes, maybe he can help me, but he's a Nazi. What about that? If my family knew.
You have to talk more. You're a Jewish woman with secrets, and he seems to be someone who's scared to face himself, like you.
Then Hans returns and sits down.
We could go in, but it would be a secret. You couldn't talk about it. I could get in trouble.
I think I could keep the secret. When would we go?
I have a few more things to do. Wait here, or come back in an hour.
Hans walks away, talking to himself.
Fix and fatigue. Oh, I should speak English. I'm done and finished. I'm exhausted.
If it's okay, I will come back.
We can meet in front of the house.
Bertha grabs her things and runs, dropping things, mumbling.
Oh God, what is happening?
Hans tries to walk, stumbles, talking to himself, repeating the same thing over and over.
Ich will mein Schwein think. Oh, I don't know the English. Maybe it's, I think my pig is whistling. What's happening? No, I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Outside the cafe, Bertha starts to walk on the street.
What just happened, Anne? I met a Nazi.
You're going to learn a lot. Just wait. The house I grew up in is nearby. It's right around the corner. Look for it.
Okay, I can do that.
Bertha walks away, mumbling.
Wow, it's just an ordinary house.
Yes, I lived an ordinary life. I had friends that went to school. I wanted to be a journalist. My family wasn't rich, but we had enough money. I liked a boy, but was too shy to say anything.
I don't know how you did it. How was it to run from your life and live in hiding? Were you afraid? What did you take?
Klezmer music plays a song. He will not return.
We had a little warning before we went. I took my journal to write and a few clothes. My parents took things for cooking. Friends had put furniture in the attic where we went to live for who knew how long. I was afraid, but I tried not to think about it too much.
Why do I feel so sad, Anne? I am so selfish. I have a good life. I don't suffer much except for how I feel about being Jewish.
Yes, people take their freedom for granted. I didn't know that it was normal just to go outside and play and visit with friends and look up at the sky whenever I wanted. Then my life changed. What was I to do?
I think I wouldn't be so brave. I would be crying all the time and probably feel sorry for myself.
You will learn a lot now that you have come here. Hans will learn too.
I need to go now. He will be waiting for me.
Scene 2. The interior of Anne's bedroom with a desk, chair, and 2 beds.
Welcome.
Can I sit at her desk?
I think that it's okay. Go ahead. I didn't know I would come here. I have the key, but I think this is not good. My relatives killed so many. Many are dead because of my family. I did nothing.
You both are welcome here.
I can see Anne. She's here. What's going on? Can you see her, Bertha?
I have been talking to her since I sat down in your cafe. I didn't know if I was imagining her just because I was so desperate.
You both are here for your own reasons. You both needed me, so I am here.
Bertha is now crying. Hans touches her shoulder lightly. Bertha startles.
Sorry, I didn't mean anything. You're crying.
I don't know why I'm crying. I feel so close to Anne. Look at the scratches on her desk. Do you think she made them? I imagine her writing in her diary.
People can tell you to keep your mouth shut, but that doesn't stop you from having your own opinion.
I have opinions, but I'm afraid to tell anyone. I think my family is hiding so much of their history.
What do you mean?
Hans sits down on a bed.
I don't know exactly what I mean, but sometimes I see my mother crying and she's holding an old photo of her father. Or my father says things like, "Be careful of what you tell people about our family." If I ask more, any question at all, he says nothing, just looks away. We didn't ask questions. No one ever did. None of my brothers and sisters asked any questions. Why didn't we? My father loved music. He listened to Felix Mendelssohn. I think he felt something when he played on that piano. I learned to play the piano.
My family's secretive too. I ask about our relatives who died in the camps and they say, don't mention that. It's in the past. We're in America now. We have our shul and bread on the table. That's enough. I tried to ask more questions. I wanted to know more. They just seemed so scared to talk, so I stopped. I want to know how they deal with the horrors without talking about what happened. My father is a cantor in the synagogue. We sing prayers and I see him crying. I love Wagner, but I learned he didn't like Jews. Why?
I want to know the same thing. I think my family is quiet when they might want to talk, but they never say what they're feeling.
I think my family must be terrified to open any feelings, but they never say that.
It's a wonder that I haven't dropped all my ideals because they seem so absurd and impossible to carry out. Yet I keep them because in spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart.
How could she believe in people after what happened? This is the mystery. I think that is what I need to understand.
Bertha opens Anne's diary and starts to read, but then Anne speaks.
I found that there is always some beauty left in nature, sunshine, freedom, yourself. These all can help you.
I need beauty. The suffering in the world and Jewish life is killing me. We say oi, and it means I'm sad, suffering. I read my other book to find joy.
Bertha reads from The Jew in the Lotus.
Reb Zalman, the Matisse of religion, rearranged Jewish thought with decorative freedom. At 67, he was our loosest, freest spirit, heir to the joy and zitz of the legendary Hasidic masters.
Human greatness does not lie in wealth or power, but in character and goodness. People are just people, and all people have faults and shortcomings, but all of us are born with a basic goodness.
Can this be true? We Americans think in terms of the holy dollar. We prove our worth with the zeros after our earnings and savings and investments. I have no time to think about basic goodness.
I don't think I deserve to be peaceful. I am filled with shame for the Nazi past. Can I find peace ever?
Yes, I can see that might not be possible. But, Anne, you are telling us something important to think about. Your room is like a synagogue or church where people can listen to their deeper yearnings.
I yearn for freedom from guilt and shame. I don't know how to let memories of old Nazi evils go in my brain or in my dreams where I'm either being chased or chasing someone.
The room becomes quiet with no one talking. Only somber music is heard.
Laziness may appear attractive, but work gives satisfaction. Even though I was trapped in this small room, I had freedom to write, to think, and to observe my family, and then the other family who lived with us. We were in very close quarters with no freedom to go outside, to live a life and play with friends in school. Yet I wrote. Yet I thought. Yet I saw how other in our attic acted and spoke. Some were bitter. Some tried to make the best of things. I was lucky. I loved writing, and dear Kitty just took all my words, my secret thoughts, and never criticized me.
I would not know how to think if I had been you. I probably would have no way to express myself. Would I feel trapped and angry? But I am a German. I never speak of the evils of the Nazis. I never speak of my shame. I didn't even know what I felt at your age. How come you were so wise, so young?
It's true. I didn't stop myself from feeling. I knew how I felt and wanted to live as best I could. Why was I like that? I don't know.
I was like you, Hans. I was always so confused. I know that it is said that confession is good for the soul, but I had too many feelings and it all felt so bad inside all the time. I could have tried, but I didn't know how to start. Holocaust, religion, new ideas of the modern world. I wanted to belong, to feel safe. So I found Jews who were also Buddhists. Did that make me feel safe? What am I doing here? I'm Jewish.
The best remedy for those who are afraid, lonely, or unhappy is to go outside, somewhere where they can all be quiet, alone with the heavens, nature, and God. Because only then does one feel that all is as it should be.
Now, both Hans and Bertha are crying.
I see the world being slowly transformed into a wilderness. I hear the approaching thunder that one day will destroy us too. I feel the suffering of millions, and yet when I look up at the sky, I somehow feel that everything will change for the better, that this cruelty too shall end, that peace and tranquility will return once more. How wonderful it is that nobody needs to wait a single moment before starting to improve the world.
Uplifting music is playing now, and all of the people from the sepia photos appear and take Hans and Bertha into a circle. They dance and sing together.
I wanted to live. I wanted to dance and even sing.
And I wished I could have saved you, but you are helping me now. What you say is true. I must start now, and I'm trying by working here in the house. I wish to help to provide a place of quiet reflection for all. I work at my desk and don't see a lot of people, but someone has to do the clerical work. I feel some satisfaction, even though I am basically hiding.
But you brought me here, Hans. You did something that provides me with what I need. Just being here with you and Anne is helping me to think in more positive ways. I don't know where this experience might take me, but I'm hopeful for the first time.
I will try to be hopeful because you are. What do you think, Anne?
I don't know anything about your worlds. What is it like now in the world?
Good question. Life is full of confusing ideas. People keep fighting about religion. Plus, so many people want to tell you what to do, or they just criticize and don't listen to you. A lot of people interrupt just as I'm getting to the point about how I feel. So I just shut up and feel bad.
I don't want to talk. Something awful might slip out of me if I'm not careful. Don't you think it's better to keep things to yourself, especially things that might reveal my dark side?
We all live with the objective of being happy. Our lives are all different and yet the same.
We all want to be happy, Anne. But how do we do that when our history is filled with pain and guilt? I feel like I should suffer for what my ancestors went through. How do you think the survivors cope?
What about all the shame and guilt of my Nazi relatives, the ones who don't feel any remorse? Are they really happy? I was lucky that I was sent to school in Austria with new ideas. I got to consider the evils done and the current day Nazis who still hate Jews and would do the same thing all over again if they had the chance. What do I do about that?
Hans puts his head in his hands and cries softly.
I have to tell my ancestors something new.
Hans yells like he is yelling at someone not in the room.
I hate you! You were evil! Why did you hate Jewish people? Why did you kill them? What did they do to you? They ate, they had children, they laughed, they cried, yet you hated them. Why? You were never punished for your hate-filled acts. You never admitted your sins. I carry your guilt. You deserve to be punished. Admit it now. Admit your sins. I didn't do what you did, but I carry your guilt. I carry the ongoing guilt of those who never confessed, never tried to make amends, just hid in your dirty actions, and even worse, felt righteous. You and your Nazi friends talked about wanting to kill Jews and never felt any remorse. I hate you for that. Confess!
Hans stomps and shakes his fists.
I have to talk to my family. I hate that you didn't talk about what happened. I feel all your pain. I want to cry with you for all we Jewish people lost. I want to stomp my feet and yell in the streets. There were evil people, heartless and cruel. They committed such crimes, and I still carry the grief and anger. I don't understand such evil. I never will. I need to do something big to express this pain. I need to bring people here to your house, Anne, to see for themselves your bravery and humility. I was like you, Hans. I was always so confused. I know that it is said that confession is good for the soul, but I had too many feelings and it all felt so bad inside all the time. I could have tried, but I didn't know how to start. All I needed was a way to heal my grief and live like you would have. I can be happy too, because I can express all my feelings. That is my bravery. I will go home and be more honest like you, Anne. Not like the fearful me, but more brave. And you, Hans, I think you can do more too.
A song plays called Be Brave.
What can I do? If I don't just hide in the office, I could try to talk to more people. Maybe I could even write about the Nazis who should be remorseful. I could be a beacon for remorse. How about that?
Anne faces the audience.
In the long run, the sharpest weapon of all is a kind and gentle spirit. Whoever is happy will make others happy too. I don't think of all the misery, but the beauty that still remains. No one has ever become poor by giving. Think of all the beauty still left around you and be happy. I must uphold my ideals, for perhaps the time will come when I shall be able to carry them out. The final forming of a person's character lies in their own hands.
Act 2. A circle of chairs is in the center of the stage. Bertha, Hans, and Anne, Wilhelm, Conrad, and Sophie take seats. Otto Frank enters and stands facing the audience. Felix Mendelssohn's Wedding March plays.
This is amazing to see so many people I never met. I am curious what will happen. I see my father and other people I don't know. What do you feel about being here, Bertha and Hans? Bertha, how are you?
I am glad that you are here, Anne. Hans is here too. I feel a bit nervous. Who are these people? I don't think I would be able to listen to new people. Why am I here?
Me too, Bertha. I want to sit next to you and Anne. What is happening? Oi, why am I speaking Yiddish?
They all laugh nervously.
You both have been so brave already. I think my father will help us. He was very clear that he wanted healing for everyone. Love is not possible before some kind of trust. You, Bertha, and you, Hans, have a bare beginning of trust. Father, why are we all here?
Music plays, and they all sway together.
We've gathered here tonight to talk, only to talk. This was my dream. I hoped and hoped for this day to tell our stories. Anne died, but I lived. Why me? When I discovered my daughter Anne's diary, I felt I had to share it. A purpose came to me. I would share her diary. I didn't know it existed. Then I found it. A miracle. She could live on. And another idea came. We could make the attic we had hidden a place of healing. Over many years, millions have read the diary. I became a book to study in schools. Anne would live on. Then we made our hiding place like a museum. Millions came, wanted to see where she wrote the pages and where we hid. Her words inspired many. How could a young girl's diary affect so many? One young girl touched the hearts and minds of so many. She is here with us now. You will hear her and see her. For restoration, this night only. She has come to be with us. And so we begin, simply with questions. We welcome you to our circle, Willem, Sophie, and Conrad. We will hear why you are here now.
I am Willem Jensen. I lived a quiet life in Amsterdam with my wife and 3 children. We were a normal Dutch family. Before Hitler and his party came to power, our lives in Holland were simple. I worked in my family business. We owned a small grocery shop. Then everything changed. The Nazi party and Hitler came to power. Suddenly our world changed. I felt afraid of what was happening, but I didn't know how terrible a thing would get. One day, a man came into my shop and said, I should join the Nazi party. What was a Nazi? At that time, I didn't fully understand what the politics of Hitler would lead to. How would I know how much evil he would spread, like poison to the souls of innocent people? It only took a few months to realize the situation. With our Jewish neighbors and friends disappearing every day, something had to be done. One evening after dinner, I said to my teenage children and my wife that I was going to do things that were dangerous. A group of us friends and neighbors decided to start to protest. I went every night to meetings. We planned to protest and to hide our Jewish community. In Amsterdam, we were a small but growing group of protesters.
I didn't know what you were doing, only that we had help from our Dutch friends. They brought us food and newspapers and other things we needed. It was dangerous for them, but they did it. At the beginning, they set up our small apartment in the attic of the warehouse. Did your group do this for other Jewish families? You were very brave.
Yes, we helped many families to hide. I now understand there were tens of thousands of Dutch people who were protesters and helped Jewish families in different ways. We held protest and resistance efforts. There was the February strike in 1941, which protested the deportation of Jews, but there were some who were complicit and helped the Nazis.
You were very brave. I don't know how many survived because of your efforts. I guess we'll never know. Your story is very important. Thank you, Willem.
Sophie and Hans are crying and all are nodding.
Why didn't I do anything? I knew the evil and stood quiet. I should have tried. I could have tried something, anything. Why was I so afraid? I will forever regret not trying. I was only a boy then, but I knew things. I knew about my grandfather's life as a Nazi. I knew my family didn't talk. I would see my mother crying. I didn't ask her why.
All are nodding quietly and staring at him. Then Otto touches his shoulder.
Thank you for your honesty, Hans. Why are you crying, Sophie?
I can't talk about the horrors I saw. I was a girl, only 13, like Anne. We lived in Berlin during that time. My family were not Nazis, but we were German. I was only a young girl, Anne's age. I went to school while you were in hiding, Anne. I had friends and we played, but I knew what was happening was wrong. I saw what was happening to the Jewish families. I saw the horrors. My Jewish friends were disappearing. I saw them being dragged out of their homes to go somewhere, only to starve, to be beaten, and maybe to die. What was I to do? My family talked, but we did nothing to help. We were afraid because many of us who were not Nazis were treated badly.
Thank you for joining us. What happened to the German families who refused to join the Nazi Party? Please tell us.
It was terrible. We were constantly barraged with Nazis who wanted us to join the party. I think my parents must have been terrified. We fled to South America to start a new life. I wrote all the stories about things I witnessed before we left. So many horrors were inflicted on other Germans who wouldn't join the party. Some were killed just for not being a Nazi.
I want to know how you, Bertha, and Hans feel after being in Anne's room.
I can't say much right now. I feel both scared and excited. Scared for the work ahead. I know now I need to do more brave things, just as you, Otto, and you, Anne, have done. I feel excited to think my words and feelings are important. I know now that because Anne wrote her thoughts and feelings, they affected so many. Even though there are no concentration camps filled with Jewish people, there's still cruelty and fear of other people who seem different. Not enough people talk, especially to talk to those they hurt or were hurt by. People act like they are trapped inside themselves, inside their fears. Like me, they don't talk about their feelings.
I am still afraid because I think I don't have the right to my feelings. If I am hurt or angry at someone, I don't want to talk. What if I hurt someone? Will I be like my Nazi ancestors? How do I overcome my guilt? They say we are all responsible for what happened as Germans. What does that mean? but I must try. I know that now.
For both of you to be brave enough to tell us how you feel is breaking a pattern of hiding in the dark. We have freedom if we so choose. Use it. I think that was a very good discussion.
I feel grateful to be here with all of you. I spoke only Polish until I wanted to speak English. I didn't know until recently that my path would take me to this moment. As a new guide at Auschwitz, the power of seeing the Jewish people lived, how the Jewish people lived, slept, and some survived, takes me on a journey each time. I don't know whether I would have survived. Each visitor has a unique experience. One person couldn't stop crying. I didn't know what to do or say. Some people look grim, grind their teeth, and spit out one word, horrible. I must have time after each day's restoration work. Being with my family helps. Being with you all is giving me more courage to go on, even though there are days I say to myself, why am I doing this? I must. One day there was a group of young people who were laughing. Why? I'll never know. It helps me when you let me into the deep, dark secrets from all of you. I don't know how these visits. Do people change? I have no idea. Do you?
I have no words for what I am experiencing. I feel something stirring in me like excitement. Why do I feel that way in the face of horrors then and now? How can I have the courage to talk more? I want to help, but how?
It is very important to find words. We need words as humans. Even if you feel scared or people won't listen, you must keep trying. I think the world will always need bravery. I didn't think I had courage. I just knew what I felt and wrote it down.
I have more questions. For all of you, if you had to do things differently, what would you change?
I don't know. Now that we're talking, I think I might have done more. Maybe I could have found more people to join us. It was hard to know who to trust. Who you were in the group of protesters. Protesters basically always had opinion on right and wrong. It was clear early on that Hitler was evil. He spoke with such hate for the Jews, blaming them for problems that Germans had. He had slogans like, Ein Volk, ein Reich, ein Führer. One people, one realm, one leader. And talking to people's need for more money amidst economic hardship, he promised to combat unemployment, saying, now German people, give us 4 years and then judge us. Expansion and power. He appealed to German self-determination, demanding the unification of all Germans in the greater Germany, and asserting people of the same blood should be in the same Reich. Through powerful speeches and propaganda, Hitler tapped into the frustrations and desires of many Germans.
I know now that Hitler had a way of indoctrinating people, and especially our youth. I didn't talk to my parents or my grandfather. I think my father must have joined. Maybe he didn't want to join. I don't think anyone explained much, but maybe they were afraid to say their real feelings. Maybe they believed that Hitler was trying to help the German population by spreading his party politics.
Could I have done more in the face of power grabs? I had my own fear for my family being killed. I don't know. I tried to be careful because I never gave into the Nazi Party rhetoric. Yes, my family suffered seeing friends and neighbors being hauled away. We knew about the parades and the stormtroopers in the streets with rifles. We knew their fear tactics. We knew stormtroopers used intimidation through organized street violence, such as beating and mocking their appointments, and by occupying offices and businesses to enforce Nazi policy. They also used terror to intimidate political opponents by invading homes, setting up illegal prisons, and using their paramilitary force to attack and arrest those who disagreed with the regime.
When I hear you, Willem, I feel shame. I was old enough to be in a protest group, but I was only afraid and felt alone. I guess you had the strength I didn't. I think your group must have reinforced each other to keep going. I wish I would have grown up somewhere like Switzerland with no army and no wars, but that didn't happen. I would have the Holocaust that never happened. Yet I am glad to be here even though I feel naked and more lost about now. I wish I would have had more bravery. But how?
There will always be those who want to rule like kings. Their motives can be hidden because they tap into a part of us that wants a strong leader. We want someone to take charge of the greater good. We might be lazy and not look further than slogans. That is dangerous because we are giving away our power. We are hoping for their words to be beneficial. We might be selfish and think if they do what they say, everything will work out. But we see dictators ultimately are greedy and selfish, with only their own distorted need to rule and plunder.
Otto, you have given me something that feels like a slap in the face. I'm stunned at my own ignorance. I fear that my simple desire to learn a better way to be Jewish was only what brought me here. Yes, it was an important reason, but only the surface reason. I'm stunned that my ancestors not only suffered, but were again not the chosen, but the victims of an evil mentality. I have to sit for a minute and absorb your words. How can I be more brave? I, too, wish Hitler and the Nazis never happened. But I think being naked here might be a start. At least we're talking. At least I feel so much less alone. And what if what we are doing here today with each other might do some good?
Did you, Bertha, experience some anti-Semitism?
The first time it happened, I was in first grade. Another child pointed at me and said in a loud voice to the other children, "She's Jewish." I didn't know what he meant. Thankfully, my friend Jane Kelly was there. She put her arm around me and said, "He's my friend. She's my friend." How did Jane know what to do? I never spoke about what happened to anyone, not my family or anyone until tonight. Yes, I know anti-Semitism, and I'm ashamed to say I didn't want to be Jewish. Recently, I found friends who were Jewish attended services. They had more open ideas about the different ways to be Jewish and not strictly Orthodox. Now I found there was a way I could be Jewish. I also am learning about how to practice Buddhism. There are many famous Buddhist teachers, Americans who are Jewish. Why is that? Are they less a Jew? I don't know. I want to be proud of my heritage. I would rather feel safe from hatred some people feel. Are we so different?
I see you are really trying your best to find a path that works for you. I didn't know about the ways that Buddhism worked. Here's a question for you, Hans. Do you think you will be able to be honest with Jewish people about your Nazi heritage? Did talking to Bertha help?
Yes, I do think being in Anne's room broke open something. In my heart, I know I need to cry and cry and cry. I haven't cried for a while. It would be hard for me to start. Maybe we can cry together. Do I think that is possible? Maybe I could find a way to grieve. Now maybe I could talk more. And I'm so sorry about what happened to you. I want to help other descendants of Nazis to come heal. We still carry the guilt, even though I didn't commit atrocities. I don't feel about our Jewish friends the way Hitler did. He blamed them for everything. It was a tactic that worked for some. When I lived in another country, I had friends and teachers who explained the wrongs being committed. I want to do something like the South Africans did. I want a kind of healing like what they did. I want to be part of helping that happens.
Who knows what happened there? Wasn't it called restorative justice?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. After apartheid, South Africa's healing process was primarily led by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which aimed for restorative justice instead of punishment. This court-like body, chaired by Archbishop Desmond Tutu, allowed victims to share their stories and perpetrators to seek amnesty by confessing their crimes. While this process helped with national healing by acknowledging past atrocities and enabling reconciliation, many challenges and inequalities persist, indicating that the healing process is ongoing and incomplete. Anne, how are you feeling?
I was immediately entranced. I fell into each one of your voices. I would like to write the book. I want to know more and more. It was new for me to hear about Jewish Buddhists. I felt sad for Hans when he said he felt so guilty. I know what that feels like. At a young age, Sophie, oh, you were so wise. Bertha, at first, you made me mad. At the beginning, your words seemed almost anti-Semitic. I wanted you to be proud of being Jewish. But I see you are healing.
I wish you would have lived. I wish you could stay and write here forever. I wish you could write your book.
I hope that we can help each other. I hope we have a new perspective on why it's so difficult to overcome our histories, especially when there's so much division. So many groups still hate other groups. Religious wars seem never ending.
Why? I don't want to feel hopeless. I want to be more like you, Anne. I could honor your memory. I could try.
Thank you, Hans. I feel like my short life had meaning. I didn't know then that my diary would tell you about a way to try to live with fear.
Thank you, Anne, for being here to continue to talk. I'm still sad that you died. You had such a short life. For today, I'm happy to see you, to hear you. You are still in my heart. So many people have secret lives that they dare not talk about. Why? So many fears. I know the life that I'm living is for you, Anne, and all the others who died, but also for people like you, Hans, to find your way towards some semblance of peace. Well, what do you think, Anne?
They all get up and face the audience.
There is no denying the past happened. I could still be alive and writing my stories, my feelings, and telling the truth. Can't we all just get along? Can talking to each other help with the fears? No one knows. But we can tell the truth, reveal raw emotional hurts and angers. Definitely yes, and that is a start.
The end.
Yeah.